Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good Thursday in the market. It's November 4th. Tomorrow is Guy Fawkes Day. Remember the 5th of November. I'm not going to do the whole quote. Mostly because I don't have it memorized. We're going to talk about a few of the stocks that have done well for us. Some of the options. Technical analysis on GameStop. See where it's maybe going to go. What's going on with it. Some of the news has come out with it. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy Money sticks around. Here is our Twitter. It's at Happy Money YT. Oh my. And we have a Discord server. You can jump on, it's in the description. Full of gifts right now. Presents you can open up. I mean, real quick, we'll just peek at the SPY. I kind of just watch it along with GameStop to see, if the SPY starts dumping and this starts inversing, then game on. But yeah, it's kind of, making new all-time highs again. We've got way overbought, 74.38. If it's gonna do that 161.8%, that's 474.73. I don't know if it'll make it that high or not. Doesn't seem like a whole lot stopping at this point. Way overbought again on time frames and such. So, but it's when it seems the most bullish is when it's going to correct. And this run, if it goes to 474 or wherever, I mean, this does definitely seem like a blow off the top. But how long does that last? I don't know. Maybe it'll last another day or two. Maybe it'll last 6 months. I don't know. So I just gonna keep rolling over on that one. GameStop on the other hand. So today has been a consolidation day for sure. I think tomorrow looks like it's gonna be red, unless there's some external event, unless there's news that comes out, say after hours today or in the morning. I know some in Discord are pretty certain about it, so I'm not, but I am happy to be surprised. So on the hourly here on GameStop, we've got bearish MACD, red under the 9 now. It's momentum, it's direction to me is pretty obvious. It's going to come down. And how far down, I don't know. I did some options in here. I hate shorting it, so I lost a little bit and just stopped. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna wait for it to come down, then I'll do maybe a big put credit spread like I did the other day, and then load up on some calls. I still think this month could be huge, just based on TA rollovers, cycles, regardless of any sort of news, which I think news is actually probably coming as well, for multiple reasons. But if you look at that, I mean, it's on my chart, it's fully out of the wedge, and I have the peaks. I have the January peak and then this peak here. So the two highest peaks, top of the candlesticks. I could do the bodies, but it'd be even lower. And I mean, this is the highest I could have that wedge. So on that scale, it's totally broken out. But again, when we were down here, I was saying it looks like we're gonna rally up. We'll either kind of find resistance here and then come down and probably trade in this range. I guess I was saying like 175 up to like 225, I think. And that could still be on the table, even though we had this huge day this day. This was maybe a hedge fund getting liquidated, or maybe they did some rolling over here. I'm not sure. But even though we had that big wick, it doesn't mean that this will not be the range we trade in for some consolidation. So for options, for shares, whatever. Short term looks like it's coming down unless we see it find support, solid support before this 175 area. I'm gonna wait to go long on options. So I mean, it could maybe find around here, around the 190, and it probably will make some stops on the way down. But I see this thing coming down again, unless there's news catalyst that could change everything, just like it changed right here where TA was saying it's going to come down, reversal, and then BBBY and it had that. So I think this was unexpected, and so there's some theories that they decided to roll over early, and it could be, but I'm not so certain. I think this was unexpected, and so this just happened, and now they're getting it back under control. But I think we're still due for our cycle and our rollover up to hopefully 350 and hopefully beyond coming up. Maybe Friday after next or next Friday. Again, this is without news, so if we're just counting the days from the kind of the peaks. That being said, this price action, it's possible we're just going to be up in this range and then rally from here. So that's kind of what we're looking for. On the day this RSI was pretty high, it was throwing me off because yesterday had a huge rally, RSI is high, but then I'm looking back and it's like some of these times, I mean, we'd have big rally. Like this day was huge. RSI was way higher. Not actually way higher, about the same. You know, consolidation day, rally, and then just kind of kept stepping up. And that was a big RSI divergence we had there. Then reversal. Wasn't like that. And then I was looking back here, and this is really interesting to kind of give you insight in RSI. And I was going to look it up, but I don't want to spend the time. You can look up what RSI means and what it does, but to kind of show you, so back here we had this huge move, parabolic move from wherever, 40, or not even 40, you know, this grind up, and then really this like 20 level up to 483 in a very short amount of time. 3 weeks, 2 weeks, whatever. And then it came down to 40, and it stayed at 40 for what, like 1 or 2 weeks. But then if you look at the RSI, the relative strength index, this thing settled on the daily chart, at least. It settled at 45, 50. Pretty quick. Pretty quick. It didn't take a whole lot. And then what we see is a huge move out of nowhere. It doubles. But that thing only went up a tiny bit. And I think that's because this huge price action was so close in time from this that it really didn't mess with the RSI that much. And then even the next day. And then it consolidated at this level. So I'm thinking, I mean, what we're in right now could be similar to this. Where it kind of rallies up and then consolidates at that higher level before another rally up. The only difference here, though, is that very interesting that this RSI was not really bothered at all by this huge double move up here. And I think that's just because this was such a big move before that it really made the RSI hard to move. And that's what it does. So if it stays flat for a long time, then you get a little bump and that RSI is shooting up crazy. But if you have huge crazy moves and it stays flat just for a short amount of time and you have a big move, it's not going to affect it as much. It's relative strength. So yeah, that's the only difference between now and here, but we could have something like here possible, where it kind of rallies up, consolidates. And it would make more sense for us to consolidate just because of our RSI to settle it down. But then to keep going, and this is like a week later. So if we kept going, then it would be up maybe to 350, maybe further. But then it wasn't until all the way up here that they finally pulled the RSI up. So the fact that we're out of the wedge is one thing, and then, oh my, the fact that the cycles is coming up and it seems like news is coming up, it could trade different now. There's some theories that $230 a share above that is margin call territory based on, actually that's close to my line there, based on just price action above that amount. And back here before 002 is instated, they could stay above that because their margin calls, I don't remember, it was once a month I think, and now it's intraday. And during that intraday margin call, I think they have 1 hour to basically fix it. So the theory was, and this was a Reddit post, I can't remember who it was, sorry, shout out to you. Theory was, that's why yesterday's price action was so crazy. Once it got over 230, they basically were on the hook. They had the shot clock, the time clock was going. They had to get it back under that margin call territory within an hour. And so the price action now that that's implemented, it could be different. We might just see quick spikes above that and back down until it's ready to just go in margin calls and liquidations. Where is it? So yeah, you can see it kind of right here. Because this move was fast, very fast, and came down almost just as fast. here's kind of that 230 range. I don't know exactly where the range is, but if you look at the time, 950, 10, 1040. Yeah, that's a huge move. Go from 230 to 255 and back in less than an hour. So with that being said, price action could be different now that there's so many different rules and regulations now that they've implemented. What they're actually following, what they're actually enforcing, I don't know, so it's hard to know how much is being affected, but some of it definitely could be, could definitely be affected. I think that was on, we're just gonna delete that. Yeah, so TA wise though, this candle is really far from the 9 moving average. Another reason why I think it needs to come down. And RSI is high on 4 hour, RSI is still high. 9 moving average is closer, could still come down though and get more comfortable on that moving average. And 1 hour, yeah, it's got a ways to come down. Of course, we've got bearish MACD right under the 9 now. So no external events, no surprise share buybacks from costs or AMC. I don't think would have any effect, but cost, Express, I don't know, Naked, one of those. Sorry, I need to figure out my my levels here a little bit better. Then I think we probably do come down tomorrow and maybe into Friday. And at some point, if this is just like kind of a one-time little pump, almost like how this was, but this didn't actually come back down right away, then I think we're going to come back down and find a floor. And I think it's going to be a higher floor than here. So easy time to go long, I would say, would be like that 175, around that range. It could take some time to get it down there. We might see something similar to this where it kind of grinds down. But I feel like it'll probably hold up. It might hold up in a higher range, and then we might rally, honestly. It might do some stuff up here and then rally up. Excited for all the news that might come out. All the potential news is exciting. Yeah, this was a theory about starting to roll over early, which it could be. Below 2, yeah, interesting stuff. Oh, they I guess on the loop ring, there was a loop ring leak, another leak or something that actually mentioned GameStop and some sort of, I think it was a marketplace type deal. So nothing official yet. If the remember 5th of November is all true and the tweets were very, 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 very cryptic, then we will see maybe people tweeting tonight and we go crazy tomorrow or Monday. But let's look at the options really quick. So history day kind of sucked. Sold short. Remember, I had those excuse me, I had those debit spreads and stuff. I diamond handed them a little long. So this morning, I told myself last night, I was like, all right, if those are up, the ones that expired this week, I'll probably just sell them in the morning. And then they were up and I didn't sell them. So I should have, but I didn't. I sold them later. I think down here. Yep, actually I did. I sold down here. I'm like, all right. I think using MACD and that kind of stuff it's too lagging for shorter intervals, like 5-minute stuff. I mean, it can work, but it seems like just price action maybe better for that. I don't know. But yeah, so that was like a $4,000 to $5,000 swing that didn't help today, because I was up maybe $600 and then down thousands. And anyways, closed out of those, opened up short calls here, closed them out here, and then I'm like, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. So I stopped, and eventually I opened up some more long exposure, even though I figured it was gonna come down, but I want to have exposure for that, and I'll average down if nothing else. So I have some for next week. Some debit spreads, some 290s, 350s, and I actually closed out of these at one point. This is not how you trade, guys. In and out, in and out, in and out. Trying to time the market is not the way. You have to do it a little bit with trading, but me touching it was what messed everything up, really. Gotta just not touch it. But I have 290s, 350s, call debit spread, and those are for next Friday. I don't have as many as I originally started with, but I'll probably scale in a little bit tomorrow if it keeps coming down, just for some over the weekend exposure. And LAC, I sold the calls on that. That one It looks like it's doing really well, but I mean, the RSI is high on the daily. We got 74 on that. Hourly, I mean, it's setting up a bull flag, so it could keep going, but I want to just grab the momentum while it was there on the calls. So sold those, but I'll probably try and get back in. I'm paying close enough attention once this thing's cooled down a little bit. As you see, this is a big move up here past this high. We were holding those calls since back here. Donaro shout out Donaro. He mentioned this on Discord, and I went long on it, and yeah, it worked out pretty well. I think it was like 300 or 400%. Not a huge play, but profit is nice. And yeah, GME switchback changed to birds today, and yeah, it's kind of gone up and down and back down now. So it'll probably find a floor, find a range sometime, and hopefully we get some good news, some good attention on it. What is rallying today is VLCN, which is, to me, is kind of a sympathy play to it. Kind of similar space. These are E kind of moped scooters, a little more off-road, and these are just for sale. They don't rent these or anything, so they just sell them. But I mean, this thing's done really well since IPO, and we kind of caught it right around here, just looking at the chart and thinking. Since IPO, I thought this would be a good one, and it has. It's gotten good enough attention, and it's been rallying. I mean, today it was up 20%. So I'm hoping and thinking birds will do something similar, but actually even more so, because I think birds is much more used and known, and is already a very profitable, I guess, business model. So here's our Vulcan shares. Those are up. I have Wish shares still. They're down a little bit. BRPM, still waiting on news for that SPAC. Here's our bird shares, down on those. Rocket Labs were up, but I think it's going to keep running. Got some time on that. I have 15 days. Yeah, SPY, of course, credit spreads. I got to roll those over on Friday. And then, yeah, these debit spreads. So it's 290, 350 call debit spread on GME. It separates it, so it turns these into covered calls. If it gets really bullish, I could just close the short calls and just run the naked long calls. But yeah, I mean, short-term TA, it's going to be hard. I'm bearish on GME into Friday for sure. Again, unless there's news. But coming into next week, I'm very curious what starts to happen. We have some IV now, so selling covered calls and selling credit spreads will be more profitable. I don't want to go on the downside, though. This is too scary. I want to wait for us to come down and find a floor, and I think it'll be higher than here, which is 167. I think it'll be a little bit higher. So that's what I got. Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll see you on Discord. Peace out.